So
Oh, I hope you feel
the
better.
morning was off. Can I have some of that coffee?
Yeah, of course.
I haven't even had coffee today.
Okay, so let's start. Welcome to Better Globally, where we explore art of becoming better. Today, our guest is Angel Nicolas, which is a luxury real estate agent. You're the CEO of the company?
That's correct.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So let's start with first things first. Let's start with coffee because this is necessity for sure.
Definitely.
Hopefully, I won't spill any because sometimes it happens.
No pressure, huh?
When you're saying it, I feel the pressure.
That was the point. To give you a little bit more
that's
nervous.
perfect.
Good coffee.
Yeah, it's from the Gables Cafe here.
Oh, Gables Cafe is
It's a very small spot, but
the best.
yeah. You want more?
Sure.
Second round. Let's do it.
Second round. Let's go. Love the setup here.
We're starting out somewhere, still gotta use my phone as the camera, but
Love it.
we'll get there. The beginning,
You got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
All right. Let me now my turn. All right. So, Angel, first I want to find out a little bit more about you so people can get to know your background, where you come from, what have you been doing through your childhood, teenage years, and how you got to the point where you're at now.
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, thank you for having me.
Of course, my pleasure.
I'm happy to be here. And so repeat the question because that was a long question.
Okay, so let's start with maybe not childhood because it's probably a little too early, but your teenage years. So you're an entrepreneur, businessman. Have you always had this business mindset? When did it start, or what kind of jobs you were working when you were a teenager?
Sure. Look, I was born in Miami.
Yeah.
My family's from the Dominican Republic, so I was raised over there until I was 12, maybe 13. And I grew up playing baseball, playing sports. No phones those days, so it was
Good
biking
times.
around, good times. Climbing trees and just doing kid stuff. I would know when I had to go home and the sun was coming down. But I consider myself so lucky. I was around. My uncle was an architect, / developer. My dad was a businessman, always working. I had my uncle also, they were all entrepreneurs. So I grew up with that mindset. And, I actually remember being maybe, 8, 9, 10, 11, biking around with my friends around different neighborhoods and stopping, being wowed by these homes and asking, oh, how much do you think that home is worth? And we were doing comparables. They're like, oh, I think it's worth this much.
Here
that
around
much.
Miami?
In
Or
Dominican
DR?
Republic, yes.
Oh.
And it's this neighborhood that's actually very similar to Coral Gables. It's called Arroyo Hondo. And they have beautiful, beautiful homes.
Is it also kind of, because I think there's a lot of Spanish architecture around here in Coral Gables?
Yes. More here in Coral Gables, but similar homes, meaning it's very pretty, very manicured, nice neighborhood.
Okay.
So we used to drive, bike around there and so I always was big into real estate. You may not know this, but Dominicans, we play baseball.
We
play baseball. That's our number one sport.
Oh yeah.
So I grew up playing baseball.
Especially after the game yesterday, I've heard and my suegro is also very big on baseball.
Is that right?
So he's been introducing me a little.
Nice. Where is he from?
He's from Cuba.
Okay, yeah. Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Venezuelans were big into baseball.
Yeah, it's like South American sport. Like a lot of South Americans and from Central America, people from there, a lot of them play baseball.
Right.
I'm from Europe and baseball is really not a thing. It's very niche, very niche.
I know. Baseball is trying to go into Europe and continue to grow the game.
We'll see how that goes.
Take some time. It's going to take some time, but it's a beautiful sport. But I say that because I grew up playing so I wanted to play professional baseball and somehow be in the real estate business. Since I saw my uncle developing homes, I wanted to be involved in real estate somehow.
Mhm.
I always thought that, I would make money playing baseball and then invest into real estate and be a real estate investor. That was my
some
thing as
passive
a
income
kid.
too.
Yes.
Okay, makes sense. So would you say that like your path was kind of it was easier for you to start because you already had people in your family that were already into real estate, that were into architecture, so it was kind of like a natural transition, let's say?
But I wouldn't say that it was a natural transition. I will say that I'm lucky because I saw that. So maybe that's where my mindset came from,
Mhm.
but it's not like I was out there, learning from them and trying to, be that at that point. I would just see it as a kid
Yeah.
and think, that's cool. I would like to do that at some point. So yeah, but I was really focused into playing sports those days.
Okay. And how long have you been into real estate?
So into real estate since I was a kid, like I mentioned.
But let's say like as a business, that you were actually being like a real estate agent or broker. I don't know.
Yeah, for the last 8 years.
Okay, 8 years.
So I got into real estate more as an investor, trying to flip homes. I was at the time I was trying to open up a gym,
Mm-hmm.
and in the process of looking for a location for a gym, I met my mentor, Irvin, and Irvin Padron was helping me find a gym. And then he came in one of those days and said, "Hey, we just got a new listing in Gables Estates. Who do you know that's looking to move into that area?" And I said, "Hey, I have a buddy." I couldn't put him in contact. They sold the home. And then he said, you should get your license to get referral fees. So I went to get my license just for that. I didn't think I was going to become a real estate agent.
Yeah.
And in the process of getting the license, the guy who was the instructor was actually phenomenal. He was speaking about more than just what the book was saying. And I said, well, if I learn the language and I really, understand what I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
I can do the same thing that I'm doing in fitness and really help people through real estate. And literally left that class, took the test, passed it, went back to Irvin and said, "Hey, I want to do this." And he was like, "What? Are you sure? What about the fitness thing?" And I said, I realized that becoming an owner of a gym is not what I love. I love the interaction. I love the one-on-one that I was doing with personal training. And I realized as I was looking to open up a gym that I was going to be in an office crunching numbers, managing personal trainers, which is not what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So decided to go towards the real estate route. And no joke, it was in the morning, personal training, at night, selling real estate. And little by little, I was able to just do real estate full time.
So you are also a personal trainer?
Yes.
Okay. You're not doing that anymore?
No, I need a personal trainer now.
Oh, I get you. So, Erwin, your mentor, he had a real estate company too, and he just took you under his wing.
Yeah, Irvin was running a brokerage at the time, and he technically took me under his wing, and whatever he would tell me to do, I would do it without asking questions, and I'll figure it out later.
Yeah, it's the best way.
It was an awesome, 12 months. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I was actually 2 years, but on the first year, I was really, picking his brain and learning from everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the best way. Just learning from people that already have more experience, asking them a lot of questions, because they have something that you don't, which is experience, and nothing like reading a book will never replace that.
100%. Look, I will say pretty much in every business, but specifically in the real estate business, you have to know the ins and out. There is no book that's going to teach you what's happening out here on the field.
Yeah.
So having a mentor is huge, and someone that is going to be, honest and tough with you, is huge in this business.
So I know that you started the Nicolas Group in 2017, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Well, really, it was 2016.
Okay.
Yes.
On the website it said 17. Maybe.
Yeah, we have to fix that.
Okay.
Well,
So
I guess that's when it was official.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna change it because really, when I started the PA was 2016,
yeah.
but I started really marketing it in 2017.
Yeah. I mean,
So
probably also there's
decide
like a
that.
time where, you have to set everything up, make sure everything's correct before you actually like go out to people and present it.
Correct.
So what made you want to start your own agency?
That goes back to my mentor Irvin. He said, you can't be the jack of all trades. You have to focus and create a niche for yourself.
Yeah.
And then, as you have more experience later on, then you can do more. So what will happen is that, okay, I want to focus in Coral Gables, and within Coral Gables, a very specific niche, which is Cocoa Plum and islands of Cocoa Plum. And he said, learn everything in that area. How many homes, how many waterfront homes, non-waterfront homes, which homes have bridge to bay, what new construction is selling for, non-new construction land. I mean, all of it.
Yeah.
I would even read like the homeowners just to kind of understand people's names and where they're from, all of that. And anything that comes outside of that, refer it out. So,
I mean, I think that's a very good way to start because people try to do too many things at once instead of first focusing on like one thing, doing it very, very well before expanding to other places or doing something else.
100%. I mean, I was for the first 6 months, I have to now go back a little bit. I wanted to do commercial real estate, I'm glad that I did that because I learned a lot in the commercial real estate. It's a little bit more formal. It's all about numbers, analyzing numbers and putting deals together. But there's no emotions.
No emotions?
No emotions in commercial real estate. It's all about the numbers. Does it make sense or it doesn't make sense? And what I realized that after doing it for 6 months, by luck, I got a listing on the residential side, which I partnered up with someone else to help me, understand what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but I learned that there was a lot of emotions on the residential side, which is what people usually don't like about it. And I loved it because, again, personal training, I don't know, through sports, I love the emotion side of it and that
the connection between people. Yeah,
exactly. I'm helping them find a home for themselves, or I'm helping them maximize their value of their home. So it's a big deal, and you get really intimate with those clients, and I really love that. So he said, look, you can't do commercial and residential. You have to focus. And so how I started the team was I would calling nonstop and trying to, find deals. I will have people, hey, I want to buy a home in Kendall. I want to buy a home in Doral. I want to buy a home in wherever that may be. And I didn't want to get distracted with helping people in different areas. I really wanted to farm my area. So I started referring out to people, and that's how I started a team. And my goal with starting the team was having a market specialist in every single submarket of Miami. So if you want to work with me, you want to buy something in Brickell, you're going to work with the specialist in Brickell who lives in Brickell, who understands the area and knows the ins and out. And that's how I started.
And do you have your whole team set up for every area in Miami? The specialist for every single area?
Well, not every single area, but for the most part, yes.
For the ones that you want to just focus
Miami
on.
Beach, Brickell, Brickell downtown, which is David Russo, then Coconut Grove, Coral Gables, South Miami, Ponce Davis, Pinecrest, Palmetto Bay. Those are our core areas.
So like south, let's say, south of...
Yeah, I mean, from Miami Beach all the way to down south, yes.
Okay, cool. So the Nicolas Group was the number 4 team in Florida by Wall Street Journal. So what would you say differs your company from others that helped you and your company achieve this success and be able to like be ranked as one of the top companies in Florida?
Oh, I mean, so many things I will say. Um, you know, I'll just keep it simple. I would say that we do the things that most people don't want to do in combination with the things that everyone else is doing already.
But
Meaning
doing
like
better.
a new, exactly. So a new, I would say new school combined with old school. So what does that mean? That means that we are doing all the, tech stuff and we're doing the geo targeting to reach specific people that are looking for something very specific. But we're also doing the old school cold calling, knocking on doors nonstop. Because at the end of the day, the number one thing is that one-on-one connection. And no matter where you get these buyers from, at the end of the day, it's going to end or start the real conversation on a call or a one-on-one conversation. So we never stop doing that. And I would say at the end of the day, it's the passion. We're passion. I want to say that, we work harder than everyone else. We outwork people. We're always thinking outside the box. And the culture of a team that it's about us. It's about the person. It's about the client. So what is important for them? And we really just focus on that. And I think people gravitate towards that and want to work with us.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. I mean, the results speak for themselves. It wouldn't happen if you guys weren't doing something right.
Thank you.
So I was reading that also, since you came from the sports background and you also wanted to play pro, you got to work with some athletes with helping them find their homes. What is like one of your favorite connection when it comes to athletes that you were able to help them find home? If you're able to disclose that, of course.
Yeah, I wouldn't disclose names, even though some of them are public in public records. But it's awesome, right? I'm a fan of sports overall. I don't care what sport you play. If you play it at a high level, I'm most likely going to be a fan because I know what it takes to get there, and it's so hard in every single sport. 100%. And I appreciate to play at a high level, whether you're talented or not. You have to have a crazy level of focus, determination, and passion. And I really appreciate that. So, with athletes and celebrities, they're like that in their own field. So they expect you to be like that. And, I get motivated by working with someone like that. And, you have to be on point.
Yeah, of course. They expect excellence, nothing less.
Exactly. They want, they most likely are the best at what they do. So they expect you to be the best at what you do. And you have to be sharp on top of things. They don't have that much time. So whenever you get those 20, 30 seconds, you have to be efficient. And it's fun. Everything is challenging, but at the same time, it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, what would be life if there wasn't any challenge? Like, we got to solve problems. That's the purpose of life.
Correct. That is my number one job. I'm a facilitator and I solve problems.
So what would you say is the worst part about running a real estate company? Just be honest. It's a very honest podcast.
Look, I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I love what I do. And the issue is that it never stops.
Oh, yeah, that's very true.
And I can work from my phone from anywhere, unless I'm actually showing a home. I can work from my phone. So the worst part is that I don't know how to stop either. So, it's tough to turn off. Someone may be asking you a real estate question at 10, 11 p.m. at night, which can wait until tomorrow, but crazy me, I want to handle that right there and then. So my phone is always going off and I guess that's the worst part, but at the same time, I love it.
Yeah. I mean, everything comes with like its disadvantages, but if you really like what you do, I think that's probably making up for all the stuff that is making it bad.
Correct.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I know you've been getting a lot of calls. I remember when we were doing the show for a day in Miami.
Yes.
I was in the middle of the show. I don't see anything now, so I think it's good. Maybe people are still sleeping.
I put it on airplane mode just because of that. I remember that one time. But watch, you'll see. I guarantee you'll have like about 100 text messages when we're done. and a few missed calls, but I have a great team behind me, and right now phone calls that I get goes to Madison, and they'll be handled. So now I can relax.
Okay,
and
that's
actually
good.
Focus on you.
Yeah. I did the same thing in case someone calls me or texts me, so the camera doesn't turn off.
That's right.
Okay, that's very cool. So what's like the biggest deal that you had? What's the amount? And was it a house? Was it like an apartment? What area?
So I was involved in a big deal. Actually, I can't even disclose it. Yeah.
Okay, so
but it was
the second biggest deal.
I'll tell you this: the one that I'm talking about, it was let's say it was over $50 million.
Oh wow!
And it was a big deal. It took a long time. People just see the final, the sale, but they don't know everything that was behind that.
Of course.
So yeah, that was a big one.
And what was it like? So the Nicolas Group focuses just on buying and selling real estate, or are you also into like development?
So now we are partnering in some development deals. We actually have 3 homes developed right now, under construction right now. And eventually we would like to do more and more of that with the right partnerships.
Okay, makes sense. And so what would you say is, based on your knowledge, and you probably have a pretty good handle on it, there are some areas in Miami that are, let's say, underdeveloped, but which area do you think is going to be up and coming in the next few years?
Oh, I mean, everything is up and coming in Miami, honestly, and whatever's already good is getting better. Right. So really everything, but I will say the South Miami area is, kind of underdeveloped, especially on the both on the west side or east side of US 1. The South Miami area, I think, is the new hot spot. People are realizing that, you actually can get to the airport in certain areas faster than in Pinecrest, and you can find some big lots in there. And, Sunset Place, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this mall.
I think I've seen it. It's like very close to UM, right?
Correct. That whole area is supposed to be, not supposed to, it will be completely remodeled. So I think around there, all of that is going to completely change. So that I like that area for investment.
I've heard something about Alapata, that it may be up and coming. Do you know anything about that?
Yes. I mean, Alapata has already been up and coming. If you look at the prices from, even before COVID, it was already a thing. That is mostly for multifamily, and which is not where we focus. But yeah, Alapata is changing a lot, and there's some big opportunities there still.
Because I remember I had a class with David Grutman. It was called David Grutman Experience. And he was saying that he has his eyes on Alapata, and he may be buying like some real estate there for the next restaurant, because he sees that it's like an up and coming next area in Miami.
Wherever he's doing business, do business with him, or follow him. Whatever he touches turns to gold. So
yeah, very true. Great guy.
I would agree with whatever he says at this point.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see. We'll see. The next few years will show for sure. So in recently, with the whole pandemic thing, there was a lot of people from all around the States and probably all around the world coming to Miami. Did you feel that transition? Did you get to work with a lot of people that are outside of Miami too?
Oh, yes. Lots of them. I mean, we always did before COVID. New Yorkers, Californians, the difference has been, Mexico, Argentina, Venezuela, Brazil. I've always worked with people from out of town, but it's always, for the most part, it's been vacation homes.
Okay.
We thought of Miami as a vacation home, and now things have changed. Now it's not a vacation. They're buying their residences where they want to live here full time.
Yeah.
Or for the, most of the time.
Don't blame them. It's a beautiful place.
Listen, the benefits, it's a beautiful place, amazing weather, amazing people. The culture here is phenomenal. but the
Traffic.
taxes are a big difference.
That's true
and people
too.
complaining about the traffic here. Guess what? Compared to the other bigger cities, New York, California, Chicago, it's probably worse than Miami. Not probably. I'm willing to bet that it is worse than Miami. So, Miami has been this little virgin city for a very long time. And now it's not. The secret is out. They realize, it's not just Miami Beach vacation and party home. You have amazing schools there, Coral Gables, Coconut Grove, Pinecrest, South Miami, and so on. So people are calling now Miami their home. And it's been a huge, huge difference. Think about this, why we're doing this more and more often here in Miami, Florida overall, but specifically Miami.
Mm-hmm.
It's because if you wanted to invest in the United States, if you were, in Mexico, Dubai, wherever in the world, you will think first New York, if you wanted to invest, second California, LA, third maybe Chicago. Miami was probably fourth or fifth. Now Miami has gone all the way to number one, and I don't blame them, right?
Yeah,
it's a pretty amazing place.
Once you come here once, you feel the magic of the city, and you just never want to leave.
Correct.
Every single time when I go back to Poland for vacation, see my family, I come back and it's like, God, I miss this place. It just
you smell the coffee and
I'm back. Coffee is probably the biggest thing because we don't have Cuban coffee over there. And when I got here and I had the first taste of colada, my life was changed.
Yeah.
Okay,
you got a little taste of Cuban coffee and that's it.
Yeah,
sold.
I mean, honestly, just a lot of Cuban culture in general, food, coffee. My girlfriend is Cuban too, so I'm now Cuban by association.
Nice.
Okay, so
I think if you live in Miami, we're all now Cuban by association.
Oh,
not as
true,
intimate as your Cuban association, but
yeah, that's very true. I honestly, I love it. I love that Miami is such like a place where there's so many different cultures all in once, and it's like a big mix, but it all works well together. But the food is probably the biggest because there's food from all around South America that I never really had a chance to experience when I was back in Europe. So coming here, all those empanadas, croquetas, the tequeños, that's my thing.
Oh boy, those are amazing.
Addicting.
Too. Yes, I try to stay away from them, but they're great.
Yeah.
Don't put them in front of me because I would destroy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the office, we have a little tradition like every Friday. We take the scooters and we drive to Vicky's, get the pastelito de coco.
Oh, you're making me hungry, man. I haven't had breakfast. Come on.
We can go after. No, that will be deadly.
I'm actually glad you brought up the whole restaurants and food because that's also something that has changed a lot in Miami. The amount of new restaurants in town are crazy. It's changing a lot. So that's something else that's bringing a lot. New Yorkers used to complain, but there's something to do in Miami other than clubbing and the beach.
Yeah.
There's like 2 restaurants now. They can't complain about that. And, we have tech, art,
everything.
We have everything here.
You name it, it's here.
Yeah.
F1 coming too. Are you into F1?
F1 is already here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, of course. May 5th.
Yeah, that will be interesting. I'm curious. I mean, probably, not going to lie, probably Verstappen is going to win again, as usually. I don't know if you follow it. Like, they had a race 2 weeks ago, and there's a race this Sunday. I don't know. I don't feel like much has changed. Probably Red Bull is still probably going to be on the top. Ferrari also has some problems again. And so, honestly, hopefully it's going to change. I love when there's like some sort of competition. Because if it's always like the only one team is winning, how Mercedes used to, it just gets boring,
I would agree. Did you see the documentary?
The Drive to Survive?
Yes.
I saw the first season. I haven't seen the new season that came out about the previous season. So I have to definitely watch it. But it's great. That's how I actually got into it.
Yes, it's pretty cool. I got into it like that too.
Yeah. I think the show with Netflix was so big for F1 because it got just so many fans, especially from US, who just, people that have higher income, let's say, and it's always been like a more expensive sport, let's say.
Yes.
So it's been huge, and like F1 definitely has seen a huge growth just because of this show with Netflix.
What do you think made that such a big difference? You know, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that this show really was able to portray the ins and outs of the sport and really like show people why is it interesting or what's so interesting about it. Because I didn't know. I mean, I knew that they're just, they're going fast. They go a lot of laps. But apart from that, I didn't know that they basically go just so fast on every turn. They go like 200 miles per hour. Okay, this is maybe a little exaggerated, but they go like super fast. And there's just so much apart from the actual car. There's like the engineering part. So if you're more into like technical stuff, that's where you should look at, because they're making the best out of the best cars that are just so performance based.
Yeah.
And also Netflix with its own magic, the storytelling and make like different narratives and show what's so interesting about it and also portray it in even more engaging and interesting way, made it a very successful show that just brought a lot of fans to F1. I mean, for a reason, there are free races in the United States now, which usually didn't happen.
Right.
It was like at most 2 per country. Now here free. Like, okay, sorry everyone. We had some technical issues with the camera. If you watched the previous episode, you probably know what it's about. So yeah.
Look, I think that's a good topic. I think that when it comes to Formula One and why the Netflix show has brought all these new viewers and all these new fans, it's because the storytelling.
Yeah.
Right. And then people now realizing all the stuff that go behind the scenes, right? Like to get these cars to go as fast as they go, the training that goes behind it. I mean, it's pretty intense. And obviously you realize that everyone's trying to win, but when you really get to know the story behind, it becomes a lot more interesting now. You're 100%. A lot more, involved, interested. And I think that's the biggest difference.
There's just like, apart from the actual just driving, there's so much that goes into it and so many like moving parts. Because first of all, there's the driver, which drives the car. There's the car. There's the team that, helps you change the wheels, the tires, the strategy. And, one thing goes wrong and you can just lose the race. Sometimes you go to pit stop, they do something wrong with your tires, you lose time. And in Formula One, it's just sometimes a matter of like less than a second that you're going to win or lose.
Yes. And
even you make super fast car, but so what if it's not reliable that, after 40, 50 laps, it just dies. That's the Ferrari problem now. They have like probably the best car, but their issue is just reliability. So after 50 laps, they just die, basically.
We need to work on that endurance.
Yeah. I'm curious because their main driver, the Charles Leclerc, he's just so frustrated. I mean, I would be probably the same at his point, because he's probably one of the best drivers in one of the best cars, but there's always just something going wrong. And his time is ticking,
Yes. I'm excited for this round here in Miami.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah. I'm very excited.
So let's say I'm a 21-year-old individual. I'm driven, I'm hungry, and I want to get into luxury real estate market. How do I do that?
Like I said earlier, number one, find a good mentor. It's very important that you are with the right team and someone who's going to take the time to guide you. And I would say focus on learning instead of, so much making money in the beginning. Learn. One of the biggest mistakes that I see people do is they get their license and they want to go to a brokerage and they focus so much on their split and so on. Focus more on who can help you the most, who can teach you the most, someone that you can really learn from. And it's not going to be like in school, they're going to give you something to write. It's more like follow them around and see how they do things.
Yeah.
That would be number one. Number 2 is create a niche for yourself. You can't be the jack of all trades in the beginning. You can't be selling Hialeah and selling Coral Gables and commercial, residential, land, no land. Create a niche for yourself. Be an expert at something. Once you become an expert at something, then it's easier to become an expert at something else. You have to understand that process. And in the beginning, you have to put in crazy amount of hours. You have to be, obsessed, right? It's not going to be that easy. But like you said earlier, nothing is easy. And if it was easy, then everyone would do it.
Exactly.
So you have to, really do things that others are not willing to do. Again, knocking on doors, cold calling, whatever that may be. And then as you grow, learn the skills of selling, which is not what people may think. The skills of selling to me are really asking the right questions at the right time for the right reasons to get really people to open up to you so you can really understand what their needs are. So then you can really help them achieve that goal. So anyhow, that was a long answer, but that's what I would say to that 21-year-old kid.
How would you start? If you had just go from the beginning, what would you do?
Well, technically what I did, find the right team and no one told me this or taught me this. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. It was a good opportunity for me. And I happened to land with a really good team that helped me be where I'm at today, So
what do you wish you knew earlier before you started?
I wish I would have listened to Irvin perhaps a little bit earlier because that was all over the place. And I wish I would have really started that, market specialist earlier on, Like technically for the first year, I was all over the place. And once I really focused, then I really saw the benefits coming in.
Yeah, I feel like in the beginning you also have to just learn about everything. And then once you have some general knowledge, some foundation, you can go more into, something specific. But without the foundations, it's hard to get the specifics of any kind of business.
100%.
I'm just interrupting.
Look at that.
I'm just interrupting really quick. Let the podcast continue, but I just wanted to see the king of real estate on the podcast. That's the only thing I wanted to see.
Thank you for having me. Anyone
those are our biggest fans.
This is the guy right here. That's the guy right here.
Anyone who you said, what would you do if I had to start over again?
Yeah.
Can I be your assistant? That's what I would do. I say, Manny, can I be your assistant? Let me just be whatever. I'll wash your car, whatever it is. Let me just be next to you.
This is the other subject, Dub. Money never sleeps.
Money never sleeps, baby.
There he is. He's there, brother. He has the STL brain. He has the money never sleeps brain.
STL.
Yeah, we are talking about
STL. That's our thing.
Especially him.
STL.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you for the interruption. We loved it.
Wherever he is after this.
Manny's great. Manny's great.
I agree. Honestly, I did one podcast episode with him, and honestly, I was like here listening to him while we were recording, but I haven't realized how much value there was until I was like editing it and listening back to it.
Oh yeah. Every time I talk to Manny, I learn something else, man. He's pretty incredible guy.
Yeah. He's the beast.
Yes,
for sure.
He really is. The amount of things that he does at once and all the things he has going on to me are really incredible.
Yeah. It took him some time. Like, I don't know. Manny is just someone that I definitely look up to with everything that he does and the way he does it. And he's successful for a reason,
Definitely. Nothing is by luck, I think,
Yeah. Wait, let me just confirm that the camera. Okay, so in general, what skills do you think are necessary for young people to succeed in today's world? It doesn't necessarily have to be real estate, but if they had to go into any career, what skills do you believe are necessary to succeed?
Oof, the easiest one, and everyone's different, every business is different, but the easiest one is, the skill of having structure, which is a skill. Some people are born with it, some people are not, but regardless, just, being structure, because with business comes lots of responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not structure, if you're not time blocking and really looking at your schedule the day before and things like that, most likely you're going to struggle. So I would say number one in every business is the skills of having some kind of structure. And then from there, everything else, right? Again, I think the skills of asking questions, the skills of understanding people. One of the skills that I think are very important for me is the skill of understanding people's personalities and being able to mirror them and adjust to them. I never change who I am. Who I am never changes. My integrity, my values, my principles. But if you're sitting how you I may be sitting like that too.
Yeah.
If you're sitting like this, I may be sitting like that. Or if your voice is more of calm, I maybe do that. Or if your voice is more high, this is a DISC assessment. So the D is the driver, the I is the influencer, kind of like the parrot. The S is the dove, very laid back, don't trust people right away, takes a little bit more time to make a decision. And then the C is the owl, is a very analytical person. So you have to talk more about numbers for that person. So I think that skill, no matter what business you're in,
just reading people in general.
Important. I wouldn't say necessarily reading people, but it's adjusting to their needs, to their personalities,
Yeah, I think I was reading it in How to Win Friends and Influence People, that if you want to talk with someone, like if someone is talking quietly, you should never talk to them loud. You need to match their, let's say, vibe and atmosphere for them to feel comfortable with you.
That you actually said it better than I did. That's it. You have to match their vibe. That's where it's at.
I love the word vibe, even though it's not super formal. I think it just reflects perfectly what we're going for.
Yes, definitely. I agree.
All right, going back to sports, who you got in the World Baseball Classic?
Well, my team lost last night.
Unfortunately.
I was there. Yeah, I was crushed. But it was so much fun to see the passion in people and how baseball has grown. I mean, last night it felt like Marlins Stadium was going to, fall apart with the energy and the vibration and the vibe that was in the stadium. But now I think that Venezuela I will say Venezuela, Puerto Rico, or USA will take it. Now, I was born here, so I'm going for USA now. But if I had to guess, Venezuela will win. They're playing really well.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Not exactly sure when this episode is going to come out, but maybe then we can just watch back and see if you're right.
We'll see.
For people that are now looking to buy a house, or just what trends do you see in Miami real estate market? What people should look out for? Or do you think something interesting that may be, happening in the future that people should know about now?
So, trends. Look, right now we're still in this place that we're just trying to find homes to sell, right? And the demand is still very, very strong with historically low inventory. So the trend remains the same. We're just trying to find special homes to sell. More and more people are caring more about the insurance. Insurance is getting pretty high, especially if you're not up to code. So I will say, that's a question that I'm getting more and more often. We're in flood zone, and if we are, is this home up to code? Mm-hmm. Meaning it doesn't have the right elevation and so on, because if not, the insurance could be pretty high at any kind of price points. So I think that's something that has been changing a little bit more in Miami, since the insurance has been changing as well. But yeah, like I said, everyone wants to be in Miami now, right? Whether it is investing in Miami or living here full time, and we're just hunting for homes to sell.
Yeah, I mean, now it's already crazy. But when I think about that in 2026, the World Cup is coming here, it's going to get insane. The amount of people the amount of traffic and like just in general, I feel like once you come to Miami, you just don't want to leave, and then it always stays on your mind. And for people that are going to visit in 2026 for the games, they're going to come here, and soon, probably after, there will be another wave of people just coming in.
We'll take them all.
Yeah. So
as long as they can afford Miami, we'll take them.
Yeah, I mean, this gets pretty expensive here too, but I mean that every city is different. Everybody will find something for themselves.
Oh yes, look, there's different areas here that will remain affordable, but Miami will continue to get more and more expensive. Whoever has been living in Miami for a while, we've been really spoiled. And we got to be grateful for that, but things are changing now. The Miami, like I said earlier, the secret is out. Everyone wants to be here.
Yeah. Okay. So this is going to be my last question. So this podcast is called Better Globally. We explore art of becoming better, how to live more happy, more purposeful, and more meaningful life, how to become better as a whole, according to you.
Oof, that's just such a good question. I, in my opinion, you have to be intentional about everything you do. Whatever you put energy into, energy flows, and you have to be intentional about it. For me, I have to have passion about what I'm doing. If there's no passion, then I'm most likely not going to perform as well as I could. And, I'm the kind of person that is always working towards getting better. That's kind of like the way I think. I think it's from playing sports. No matter what, you can always do better. And in different areas, right? How can I become a better communicator, better at pronouncing my words, better friend, better father, better husband, better real estate agent, better listener, better at asking questions. So I'm always working on the little things, to which the little things will help the bigger things. And having the right habits is the key, in my opinion. Having the right habits will take you to a whole different level. Because if you have the right habits, you're doing those things already without even thinking about it. Like you don't think about brushing your teeth in the morning. You just kind of do it, even if you're half asleep. That's what you want to create for yourself, is those habits that you're going to do whether you're tired or not. So the habits control your life.
Okay. And what habits would you say are important, or what? Okay, what habits do you think are important for people to start? That's the first question. Second question, what habits made the biggest impact on your life personally?
So it's different for everyone, right?
Of course.
But in my experience, in my opinion, some of the best habits is visualizing. First of all, is writing down your entire schedule the night before. Visualizing that, okay? Visualizing how that's going to go. Because then in your mind, it's like you've already gone through that. And I believe in the universe is connected with all of that, and it will help you connect the dots, right? So the day starts the night before, writing down everything, your schedule, your to-do list, and actually time blocking to handle those things. Second is waking up early, reviewing that again. I work out every single morning. I have to move. Even today, I wasn't able to go to the gym. I did something before I showered. And then once I shower, I'm big on my positive affirmations. In the world that I live, there's a lot of no's and a lot of, we lose a lot. It's kind of like playing sports, golf, baseball. So you have to maintain your mindset up, right? I'm a big believer that no matter how high you are, how low you are, you have to stay right here in the middle. So positive affirmations to go out there with a positive mindset. And the last one is, taking action. Lots of people like to study a little much. I think that you take some time to prepare. Obviously, preparation is very, very important, but you have to jump. You have to throw yourself in the fire and come back
Yeah.
and learn from that, and then continue to throw yourself in the fire. And then eventually you're fine walking on fire, but you have to do that. You know, those three things I would say are the most important.
I can absolutely agree with the third one, the taking action. Especially, I think people in my age, I talk to my friends and they all have amazing ideas. So what? None of them are actually doing anything to make this idea a reality. And this is what differs successful and unsuccessful people. It's the action. Because everybody had great ideas, but not everybody executes.
Yes. Some people spend way too much time thinking about it or educating themselves about that, and you know, not taking action. And like, you know, Tony Robbins said that knowledge is only potential power.
Yeah.
And I thought that was awesome because, you know, we grew up, oh, knowledge is power, which is true, but only if you use it.
Yeah.
So once that's sunk in with me, I was like, oh, that's really good. And yeah, I'm the kind of person that I'm reading a book, and the first chapter, you know, something that connects with me, and I want to start doing that right now. You know, I'll read chapter 2 tomorrow, but right now I want to do that right now and put it into action. So yeah, you got to take action, come back. You learn so much from the experience and going through it. And lots of people are afraid of failing or, you know, doing something, putting lots of energy into something and then that not going their way.
Mm-hmm.
But you learn so much from that. You can go back now and say, okay, that didn't work. This worked. What would I do different? And even if maybe you realize that's not my business, kind of how I realized in the fitness world, opening a gym was not what I wanted. And it helped me now understand what I really want to do, you know? So when you go with that mindset of, I'm going to try to be the best at this, no matter what, and thinking that winning is going to be inevitable, whether you win at that or not, it's going to help you in the future. So that's the mindset that you have to go at it with.
I absolutely agree with that. I probably have been in the same place too, that I feel like I've been just always studying, always trying to learn, always thinking, oh wait, I'm not going to start because I don't know this. But then, for example, with this podcast, the first episode was probably, I mean, it wasn't bad, but you know, it wasn't the best. But after this first episode, I already saw, okay, I can do this better. I can do this better. And now I'm a very big believer that you just learn so much more by doing, because there's always going to be some personal nuances in whatever you do. And you will not get that from the book. You will not get that from someone else telling you. You will get that once you do it yourself. So I couldn't agree with you more on that. Okay, Angel, so what's the best place or the best way to reach you for anyone interested, anyone listening that would like to get your real estate advice, maybe buy a home, sell a home?
Look, you can always find us on our website, thenicolasgroup.com. I'm pretty active on social media. So it's Angel_Nicolas. And we also have the Nicolas Group IG. So it's really just the Nicolas Group, at the Nicolas Group. But yeah, info at thenicolasgroup.com too. You can email me there. And yeah, we would love to help you.
Of course. Okay, Angel, it was a pleasure. It was very great.
Thank you for
I
having
appreciate
me,
it.
Yes. This is awesome.
Thank you for everyone who listened to it, and like, subscribe, follow the podcast, leave 5-star review, everything. And we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, I got it roll, man.
Yeah.
That was good.
That was very good.